Welcome to Tales by WZ. Today's story is about a husband who emptied his savings to fund his wife's dream business, only to be blamed for her failure and send her an invoice for every dollar. As you listen, think about what you would do if your support was rewritten as sabotage. My wife said, "You're holding me back." I replied, "I should step aside." Then I turned our savings into an invoice, hired a lawyer, demanded the money back, and just watched as her hotel receipts and support story collided in court. I am 39 and I need to get this out before my head explodes. 3 days ago, my wife of 11 years, she is 37, told me I have never truly supported her dreams. She said I have been holding her back. This was after I spent $87,000 funding her boutique clothing store that closed 6 months ago. 2 years ago, she decided she wanted her own shop. Vintage clothing, locally sourced accessories, that whole curated aesthetic. She had been working part-time as a buyer for a department store. Decent money, but not her passion. I supported it completely. At least, that is what I thought. We sat down and made a budget. She needed around $75,000 for the first year. Lease and deposit, inventory, renovations and fixtures, marketing, website, licenses, insurance, all of it. My salary as an operations manager covered our life comfortably. We had about $40,000 saved for a future house down payment. I suggested we use some savings and a small business loan. She did not want debt. She said, "If I have a loan over my head, I will be stressed and not creative." So I liquidated some investments, pulled money from my retirement and took the penalty. Borrowed $15,000 from my parents, pushed and scraped until we hit $75,000. She opened the store in March 2 years ago. By June, she needed another $12,000 for unexpected costs. The initial inventory was not enough. She said she had underestimated seasonal needs and trends. I pulled it together. I took a second consulting job on weekends and paid my parents back over 8 months. This is where a lot of people would have drawn a line. I kept moving the line. The store struggled. Sales were inconsistent. She blamed the location that she picked, then the economy, then the post-COVID market, then people not appreciating quality. She came home stressed and angry. Nothing I did was right. If I suggested adjusting prices or running sales, I was undermining her vision. If I kept quiet, I was disengaged and unsupportive. That is the trap. Whatever you do becomes the wrong kind of support. By last summer, the store was bleeding money. She closed it in September. Total loss. I never said, "I told you so." I never threw the money in her face. I told her it was a learning experience, that we would be okay, that we would rebuild. Last week, she came home late from dinner with friends. Something felt off. I asked if she was okay. She snapped. "You know what? I am not okay. I am suffocating. This marriage is suffocating. You never believed in me. You just threw money at the problem and expected me to magically succeed. You gave me money, not support, not encouragement. You were just waiting for me to fail so you could feel superior." I said, "That is not true and you know it." She looked me dead in the eye and said, "I am done. I want a divorce. I need to find myself and you are holding me back." I stared at her for a long moment. Then I said, "You are right. I should step aside." She looked surprised that I did not argue. That should tell you something about what she expected from me. 2 days later, she moved in with her sister. She already had a lawyer. Clearly, she had been planning this. Yesterday, I sat down with spreadsheets. I calculated every dollar I had put into her business, $75,000 to launch. $12,000 later, penalties on my retirement account. Interest I paid on the money I borrowed, total $87,340. Then I added 5% annual interest, a normal business loan rate. It came out to about $94,683. I had a buddy who is a paralegal draft a formal invoice on professional letterhead, itemized list, payment terms, due date. I sent it to her and her lawyer. Subject line, outstanding business investment, payment required. 30 minutes later, she texted, "Are you serious right now?" Yes, I was dead serious. 5 days later, the fallout started. Her lawyer sent a letter calling the invoice vindictive, cruel, and not legally enforceable. He said the money was a gift between spouses, and that I was trying to financially abuse her during a vulnerable time. My lawyer, the best I could afford, sent a simple response. Please provide evidence that these funds were gifted. Our client maintains the funds were business investment loans, as contemporaneous text messages will demonstrate. What her lawyer did not know was that I kept texts, lots of them. When she first asked for the money, her exact words were, "I will pay you back once the store is profitable. I promise. This is an investment in our future." When she needed the extra $12,000, she wrote, "I hate asking for another loan, but I will make this work. You will get every penny back plus some when I am successful." Over 2 years, she called the money a loan and an investment over and over again. My lawyer loved it. We sent copies. "Gifts are typically not promised to be repaid," he wrote. "These communications clearly establish expectation of repayment." While we were gathering bank statements, I noticed something else. The business account was in her name only. She had insisted on full creative control. But the paper statements still came to the house. In the last 8 months before the store closed, there were about $23,000 in expenses that did not look like business costs. $4,200 at a spa I had never heard of. $3,800 at restaurants we never went to together. $2,100 at a hotel we had never stayed in. $6,500 in cash withdrawals. Shopping at stores that had nothing to do with the boutique. I highlighted every questionable item and put them in a separate spreadsheet. "Pretty sure business funds were misused," I wrote to my lawyer. "Is this relevant?" She replied, "Very relevant, especially if she is claiming financial hardship." That is the thing about money. It leaves a trail, even when people lie about the story. That is when the family started calling. Her sister called first. "How dare you bill her for supporting your wife's dream? You are disgusting." "She called it a loan multiple times in writing," I said. "That is just semantics. Married people do not charge each other interest." Married people also do not blow $87,000, demand a divorce, and say they were never supported. Click. Her mother called next, crying. "She is devastated. She is depressed. She lost her business and now you are trying to destroy her financially." "I am trying to recoup money I lent her for a business that failed." She is now saying I sabotaged her by not being supportive enough. "You make good money. Why are you being so petty?" "I make good money because I work 60-hour weeks. That $87,000 was a year of savings, retirement penalties, and a loan from my parents. It was not play money." And she is the one divorcing me. Her mom had no answer. My own parents called, confused. "We heard you are suing your wife," my mom said. "Not suing yet, asking for repayment of a business loan." My dad was quiet. "The $87,000 plus the $15,000 we lent you?" he asked. "Yes." "Son, we told you that money was a gift to you both. And I am grateful, but I gave it to her business. She is divorcing me. When she repays it, you get your cut back." My mom sighed. "This is going to get ugly." "It already is." A mutual friend called. "Hey man, I heard about the separation. Your wife is pretty upset about the bill, says you are trying to bankrupt her." "Did she mention the $87,000 I gave her for her store?" I asked. "She said you were supposed to be partners." "Partners split costs and profits. I funded 100%. She kept 100% control." "Now it is 100% gone. How is that a partnership?" Silence. "When you put it that way," he said, "there is only one way to put it. The truth." On Friday, her lawyer emailed with a softer tone. He wrote, "Perhaps we can discuss this matter reasonably." Client acknowledges receipt of funds, but maintains they were marital gifts. However, she is willing to discuss a payment plan of $500 per month if you withdraw the interest and reduce the amount to $80,000. $500 a month would take more than 13 years. Through my lawyer, I rejected it. Full amount due, or we proceed with legal action and formal discovery regarding misappropriation of business funds. That last line changed everything. Her lawyer had not seen the full list of suspicious expenses yet. 2 days later, he sent a much harsher letter, threatening harassment charges if I continued intimidating his client with spurious financial claims. My lawyer replied, "Then we will see you in court." We filed a civil suit for repayment. Once that happened, formal discovery kicked in. Her lawyer had to turn over records, bank statements, credit cards, the full business account. Everything related to the store. What we found was worse than I expected. There was a business credit card in her name. I had never seen the statements. That card had $34,000 in charges over 2 years. Some were real business costs. Many were not. $8,900 at luxury hotels, $4,200 at expensive restaurants, $3,800 at a jewelry store, $2,100 for concert tickets, many other personal charges. My lawyer cross-checked the dates with my calendar. Every hotel stay was a weekend when I was working my second job or visiting my parents. The jewelry was nothing I had ever seen her wear at home. She had been living a double life on business money. During a divorce deposition, my lawyer asked her about it. "Can you explain the hotel charges in May of last year?" he asked. "That was a business networking event," she said. "The bill shows room service for 2, champagne, and late checkout." "I brought a colleague," she said, "male or female colleague." Her lawyer objected, but she was already red. She called the personal charges mental health breaks and image maintenance for the boutique. Then my lawyer presented the texts where she had called the money a loan and promised repayment. Her lawyer argued that married couples talk loosely about money, that it was emotional language. The judge looked at the messages and then at her. "These messages are clear," he said. "They describe repayment." "Did you intend to repay these funds?" "I intended the business to be successful, then we would both benefit," she said. "That is not what was asked," the judge replied. She started to cry. Her lawyer called for a recess. During the break, my lawyer leaned over. "They are going to settle," he said. "This is going badly for them." He was right. At the next session, her lawyer offered a deal. "Client will repay $45,000 over 5 years at $750 per month. In exchange, you drop interest claims and stop investigating business expenses." My lawyer countered. $70,000 over 3 years at $1,950 per month, or we continue and explore misappropriation and potential fraud. They tried to bring it down. We did not move much. Finally, they offered $65,000 over 4 years at $1,350 per month. Final. I looked at my lawyer. He gave a small nod. It was not perfect, but it was real money. "I agree," I said, with an acceleration clause. "If she misses one payment, the full amount becomes due immediately." They accepted. The divorce settlement ran parallel and was separate. Because it was an 11-year marriage, I still lost things. She got her car paid off. Half the remaining joint savings, about $8,000. Spousal support of $1,800 per month for 3 years, so she could rebuild her career. I kept the house. I refinanced to buy out her equity. That cost about $90,000. I kept my retirement accounts, what was left after the store, my car, and I had the civil judgment for $65,000. When you add it all up, I lost around $110,000 between the business, the divorce, and buying her out of the house. It could have been closer to $180,000 if I had rolled over and taken the blame. 2 weeks later, I had coffee with that same mutual friend. He looked uncomfortable. "I probably should not tell you this," he said. "Tell me anyway. Your ex has been seeing someone for a while, since before the separation." "It is the guy who did her website." My stomach dropped. "How long?" I asked. "At least 8 months, maybe longer. He helped her with the books sometimes." 8 months. That lined up almost perfectly with the hotel stays, the jewelry, the restaurant charges. I called my lawyer. "I am pretty sure those business expenses were funding an affair," I said. "Can we reopen anything?" "Civil case is settled and the divorce is finalized," he said. "We could try to pursue fraud around how she presented the expenses, but it would be a long, expensive fight. You might win. You might not. I thought about spending another $20,000 to maybe get more back. Then I thought about my peace. No, I said. I am done. She already has to pay me back. That is enough. Sometimes winning is choosing not to keep bleeding just to prove a point. 2 months later, it was finally over. The last 2 months have been about rebuilding, not just the money. Me. My ex made her first payment, $1,350 right on time, automatic transfer, court-ordered. I saw the deposit hit my account and felt nothing, not revenge, not joy, just relief. With the divorce final, the emails and meetings stopped. No more depositions. No more negotiations about furniture, accounts, or who takes which couch. Work got busy. I threw myself into it. I got promoted to director of operations. The raise means I can rebuild my savings faster and the spousal support stings less. The house feels different. Her stuff is gone. I repainted the bedroom, replaced the couch she took, rearranged the furniture so it feels like my space, not our old life. My parents were relieved. My dad told me he was proud I handled it with my head instead of just with anger. My mom hugged me and said I deserved better. Through mutual friends, I heard more. Apparently, she moved in with the website guy 2 weeks after the divorce was final. Most of the friends who took her side at first have gone quiet. A couple apologized once they saw the full picture. One of them said, "I had no idea she used business money like that. That is messed up." Her sister still will not speak to me. Her mother sent one email. "I hope you are happy now." I did not respond. The repayment is automatic on the 15th of each month. The money drops into my account and goes straight into my retirement fund. At this pace, I should recover most of the hit by my mid-40s. Not ideal, but not ruin. I have started going to therapy. Trust is harder now. My therapist says that is normal, that I need time to process the betrayal. Because that is what this was. Not just cheating if that is what happened. That hurts, but it is almost simple. The deeper wound was the way she twisted the story. She called me unsupportive after I emptied my savings and retirement. She said I held her back while I worked 60-hour weeks and a second job so she could chase her dream. She got to call herself a brave entrepreneur with my money. She got to take another man to nice hotels on funds from a business I funded. Then she wanted to walk away with half of everything and a clean image. Instead, she has a court-ordered debt to her ex-husband for the next 4 years. She has to explain that to every future partner and every lender. Meanwhile, I have my house, my promotion, my peace, and a judgment that says on paper that what I gave her was not a free ride. It was a loan. Someone asked me recently if I regret sending that invoice, if it was worth the stress and the legal bills. I thought about it. Yes, it was worth it. Not because I love watching money come in from her, but because it was the first time I refused to let someone rewrite the entire story. It was about refusing to be gaslit, refusing to let her failure become my blame, refusing to finance her choices and then walk away broke so she could still call herself the wounded artist. She made choices. To lie. To hide expenses. To twist the narrative. To leave. I made a choice too, to fight back. To draw a line. The legal system is not perfect. I still lost money. I still pay spousal support for a few years. I still had to sit in a room and listen to her pretend she was the victim, but I also won something important. The judgment stands. The debt is real. The truth is on record. That is enough. Now I am rebuilding, slowly but on my own terms. The retirement account is recovering. The house is quiet. The job is stable. Therapy is helping. And every month, $1,350 arrives as a reminder. Some actions have consequences. You cannot burn through someone's life savings and then claim they never supported you. Courts do sometimes recognize reality over performance. My ex wanted her dream funded with my money and my silence. She got the funding. She lost the silence. Now she is paying for the rest. Literally. Sometimes justice is not about winning everything. It is about not losing everything. About drawing a line and saying this far and no further. I drew that line with an invoice. Best $94,683 bill I ever sent. Lesson 1. Supporting someone's dream does not mean you have to accept being blamed when they misuse the support and the dream fails. Lesson 2. If a partner insists on full control of a business financed with shared or personal money, you should put clear agreements in writing from day one. Lesson 3. Financial secrecy is a major red flag. Hidden accounts, unexplained expenses, and you would not understand are signs something is wrong. Lesson 4. Leaving a marriage does not erase debts that were clearly described as loans. Love does not turn accountability into abuse. Lesson 5. Sometimes the healthiest choice is to stop chasing more punishment and focus on rebuilding your own life. What about you? At what point in this story would you have sent that invoice, if at all? Have you ever supported someone's dream and later realized they were rewriting your support as their burden?